Good evening and welcome back to another riveting episode of Coffee and Cuddles.
So pull up a chair and a mug, why don't you?
And a mug, why don't you?
Why don't you?
Why don't you? Why?
Well, you've got a mug of coffee.
I do have. Is it a
So
mug?
okay, it's a cup of coffee.
I'm confused. Is it a mug of coffee? Is it a cup of coffee?
Okay, a cup of coffee.
I don't know.
I don't know. Some people call them coffee mugs. Some people call them coffee cups. Some people call it coffee to go. Some people call it go juice. Oh no, that's not
magical bean juice. No,
that doesn't sound right at all. I apologize for that last comment.
Dirty bean water.
Great. I just apologized for the last thing that fell out of your face. Now that fell out of your face.
You should know better. I'm never quite done on the first one.
Oh no. For those of you that are just tuning in, the names of coffee that have been expressed by copies do not reflect the names of coffee thought of by Cuddles.
The names of coffee?
I don't know. Nicknames for coffee.
You were on a roll, and I just let you go. I vapor that way. Just let her go. She'll come back around eventually.
Choo choo.
She'll circle right.
I swear I have not had any coffee. Maybe that's my problem.
I'm sure it is. Coffee.
Hey.
Coffee is very important. Well, I see all these posts and reels and things on Instagram lately because we're in the coffee space, obviously. And I will have affiliate links up soon for like Pete's Coffee and things like that, so you can save some money, get some awesome coffee. They are in no way sponsors of the show yet. We're ever hopeful, but I see all these things about make time in your day for coffee and coffee this and coffee that. I'm thinking, if someone asks you why you drink so much coffee, or do you really need more coffee, or anything like that, just get those people out of your life. You don't need that kind of negativity. You really don't.
My students say, "Oh no, please don't give her coffee."
Right? Well, it's like the squirrel from I can't remember the name of the movie now.
Ice Age.
No. It'll come to me eventually. Animated show, had Little Red Riding Hood in it. I can't think of the name, but there's a squirrel that was hyper and they couldn't understand what he was saying, so they gave him coffee and it calmed them down so they can understand him.
Doesn't work that way for me.
Yeah, it'll come to me eventually. Hopefully by the end of the show. Anyway.
It'll come to him about 3:00 in the morning. Or after 5 cups of coffee.
That's the way my luck runs. I'm sure someone out there has seen this movie and they know what I'm talking about. I'm not just crazy and making things up in my sleep-deprived state or anything like that.
If you know the movie he's thinking of, please feel free to write in.
Send it telepathically, and I will get it.
Please feel free to write in.
For those of you playing along at home, please write in.
So, this person sitting to my right is Coffee, aka Craig, and I'm Cuddles, aka Anna Marie, and we are going to talk about love languages tonight. So, there are lots of different tests.
Hoodwinked. That's it. So I'm okay now.
Okay. So as I was saying before he had a burst of energy, as I was saying, there are all different kinds of online tests and probably pen and paper tests to determine what your love language is. And we both took one tonight. And do you want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first.
Okay, you go first.
There's, like she said, there's many different websites to do this. One is called 5lovelanguages.com. And there's quizzes for love languages and anger things and whatever. There's a test. If there's a condition or a situation or an ism, there's a test for it. And this is something I'd heard about for a while. I'm sure these love language things have been bouncing around the internet for the last 3 years or something, and I never really paid much attention to it. But, as we're brainstorming for these riveting episodes that we come up with every week, and, we work with Annette here, and we have no health insurance plan, so we got to be careful.
Who's Annette?
Some chick. she likes OJ, and is it Skippy peanut butter? I think that's the one we'll have to ask James. James, by the way, also known as J-Dub, will be doing movie reviews and things like that in upcoming episodes. So stay tuned.
Can we stay on one train of thought?
Absolutely not. I've got multiple trains on multiple tracks, and the switches are out, and it's all hands on deck, and it's mayhem. Anyway,
I'm going to take this cup right over
oh,
here.
I don't think so.
And I'm going to move it over to this desk over here.
So anyway, you take a quiz. It's 30 questions, and it's multiple choice. It's, do you prefer this one or that one? Now, a lot of these tests, many of the questions are ambiguous in the way they're worded. Would you prefer this over that? Would you prefer a fuzzy cat, or do you like fuzzy dogs better, or whatever the question is. So I could probably take it again and take the opposite answers in each one of these questions and come up with a entirely different answer. So anyway, after all this heavily scientific and I'm sure totally proven testing, not random at all, my primary love language is words of affirmation. Now, I scored a 35 on affirmation, a 32 on quality time, 13% on physical touch, 13% on acts of service, and 6% on receiving gifts. Now, that's not really me at all, because I do like things being done for me, but I guess it's not my primary thing. I would rather have someone tell me that they love me and they appreciate me. And I would rather spend time with my girlfriend rather than being out in the world and doing activities and things, although there's nothing wrong with that. And there's a certain amount of enjoyment I get out of driving up and down the PCH with her. And we don't have to go anywhere. Just the act of driving. I love being in the car with her and spending quality time with her. I guess it boils down to quality time. Anyway, the little blurb at the end is, actions don't always speak louder than words. If this is your love language, unsolicited compliments mean the world to you. Hearing the words "I love you" is important. Hearing the reasons behind that love sends your spirit skyward. Insults can leave you shattered and are not easily forgotten. Kind, encouraging, and positive words are truly life-giving. Now, I'm sure we tried a different test, and if you want your results, it's $7.95. So I'm not about that. And we have no budget for internet tests here.
Mm-mm.
Not yet, anyway. So we're not about doing that. So we took this one, and that's what I came with.
Now, I have to interject here. So the last two sentences, huh?
I was singing Schoolhouse Rock.
Oh,
interjection.
Interruption. So the last two sentences on the little blurb that he just read to you: insults can leave you shattered and are not easily forgotten. Kind and encouraging and positive words are truly life-giving. That is you to a T, because you have been through some stuff and you have had things said to you. I guess they don't necessarily fall into the category of insults, but they're not positive comments. And I saw what those kind of words did to you. And it breaks my heart, because as much as you're working on you and such, I know sometimes you'll repeat a comment or something that's been said to you, and I watch it hurt you all over again. Mm-hmm. So yeah, words are extremely powerful. And this is something I tell my students all the time. I work with 7 and 8-year-olds, and I tell them all the time that words are truly powerful. And once they come out of your mouth, you cannot pull them back in. And the things that you say, even if you don't mean for it to hurt somebody, can really, really just wreck someone.
Right.
And
I think you can apologize, and I think there can be forgiveness and some forgetting and healing, but
words are powerful.
I've always heard that sticks and stones may break all that crap that they taught us in grade school. And it's not really true, because words absolutely can hurt you. Words can absolutely destroy you, especially when they come from someone that's supposed to have your back and supposed to lift you up and support you and, be there for you. And when that type of person says something like that sometimes comes out of left field and you have no idea that it's coming, and it hits you right between the eyes, and you don't know, like, what was the number of that truck that hit me, because I didn't see it coming. I think those are if a stranger says something to me that don't like me, eventually I'll brush it off and I won't care, and I won't give it a second thought. But it's the ones that love us and or allegedly love us, and the ones that are close to us, like a wife or a husband, that is supposed to be your support system and your protector. Like I try to be for Anna. I'm like her greatest champion. And I can't imagine ever saying anything hurtful or mean or spiteful to her, or telling her that, you know, you made dinner tonight and it sucked. I would never do that. Not that she would cook a dinner that sucks, but you get my meaning. I would never go out of my way to be hurtful or spiteful to somebody. Now, there are times when you have to tell somebody something that's unpleasant, and I understand that, and it happens a lot and it comes up often. And there are ways that you can kind of like cushion that or couch that in such a way that it's not such a terrible blow. But I think you're right. I think there have been things said to me lately that I wasn't expecting. I certainly did not deserve. Now, was I a perfect husband? As I've said on my own podcast, and I've said here, and I've said in blogs and online, I was never a perfect husband. I tried to be. I talked about this with my therapist. I'm getting a little bit off track, and I promise I'll bring it back around. But what I told him was, and what he and I talked about was, I didn't have any positive marital roles growing up around me. The way that my family acted and other people's families I saw acted, I thought, well, that's just the way things are, and that's how people are supposed to be. So I had no frame of reference for being a great husband. I did my best. I know I screwed up. When I screwed up, I apologize for it, and I try to move on. I try to help both of us move on. And sometimes I said things that I can never take back, and I wish I hadn't said. At the time, I felt totally justified in saying it, and that's what my gut said. Just go ahead and say it, and consequences be damned. And I didn't care. And now that it's happened to me, I realize that I was a jerk, and I need to do better. And yeah, so maybe this test isn't 100% accurate, but it's pretty darn close for me. Now, as for yours.
Oh, wait, I wasn't done talking about yours.
Hold on. Let me pull that back up again.
So I've told my students that words are very powerful, and you may not in the moment realize that you're about to hurt someone with your words, but you really need to be mindful of the things that you say, because you can hurt someone without realizing that you're doing it. And then the other part of this, the kind, encouraging, positive words, I have seen how that just brightens you up. I mean, you just get this glow, and you stand up a little straighter, and your eyes gleam a little more, and it's really cool. And I have seen students, either say it to one another, or even students, say things to me. There's one student in particular, and whenever he sees me, he'll say hi, or he'll just say something nice about, it could be my shoes, or I wear a lot of school themed and teacher themed t-shirts, and he'll say, oh, that shirt is really cool, or I like what it says, and it's just something nice. So yeah. So I think this one, honestly, it really does suit you.
It's not like the horoscopes that we used to read as kids.
Used to read.
Oh, I haven't read it.
I still look at them every now and again.
All right.
So, all right. So I took this, and this really surprised me, because what I assumed it was going to show, it didn't. Like my top two, one was acts of service, and the other one was words of affirmation. And there's like a 3% or 3-point difference, 3-point difference. And I was reading the little blurb, and it says, can vacuuming the floors really be an expression of love? Absolutely. Anything you do to ease the burden of responsibilities weighing on an acts of service person will speak volumes. I think they should have named this something else. I don't know. It just sounds strange. The words they most want to hear: let me do that for you. Laziness, broken commitments, and making more work for them tell speakers of this love language their feelings don't matter. Finding ways to serve speaks volumes to the recipient of these acts. I don't know. This doesn't seem like me. Do I appreciate it when you do things for me? Absolutely. When you can take something off of my overloaded list, it means a lot. If I come home thinking I've got to wash out this water bottle, or I need to throw that jacket in the wash, and to come home and hear you say, oh, hey, you know that jacket? It's in the wash. So I just wanted you to know that. And I know that you need that water bottle washed, and I've got a load that's going in right now. So just toss that over here and let me take care of that.
Right. We joke around about this a lot, but one of my favorite things to do to you is say, already done. Because you'll come home and you'll be, or on the car ride home, it's like, oh, remind me when I get home, I gotta throw a load of clothes in the water. Or I need to do this, or I need to do that. And it's like, nope, already done. And with my ex, I hated it because I always felt like I was obligated to do it. And it was my responsibility. And well, I'm just going to leave this for him to do. And I'm not saying that happened all the time, but as I recall, and in my recollection, it happened a lot where I wound up doing the dishes, or I wound up doing the cooking, or I wound up doing the laundry, make sure that they had clean clothes or whatever. And I felt so put upon, and everything piled up on me. And now that I get to do it for you and you appreciate it, and never once have you demanded or come home and said, oh, well, why didn't you do this? Or why isn't this done yet? You always come home and you appreciate the things you do for me. And that leads into what you said about when you compliment me on things. It's like, yeah, I do stand up a little bit straighter because I spent 2.5 decades never hearing it, or very seldom hearing it. So I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. So anyway, I do appreciate things like that. Or when I'm at work, if one of my students, pops by in the morning and says, can I help you with anything? And I give them a task like, can you put this on everybody's desk? Or can you please charge all the computers for me? Yes, I appreciate things like that. But I don't feel like that one is my primary one. I feel like it's more the words one, because I like hearing, all the positive words, because I have been in relationships where it was sort of a backhanded compliment, no, that's not the way I want to say it. It would be said like something loving would be said, but automatically followed with a smack over my shoulder. Like, here comes the positive words, and then I'm going to slap them away before it really sinks into your head. I know what I'm trying to say, and I can't get the words out.
No, I feel what you're saying. It's
okay,
like,
good.
They couldn't say something positive and leave it there.
Right.
They had to follow it up with something else. And it's just like, all right, someone will say a sentence to me. I'm like, all right. And you can just stop right there. There's no need to expand on it. There's no need to add anything more to it. You can just say, great job, and leave it at that.
Right.
Not great job, but you should have done this instead.
Exactly. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this score. And I think there's a lot of these tests like that where
it's 3% out of 30. So it's probably like one question.
Oh, I know. It's just, there's a lot of these different types of.
Well, that's what I said. Depending on which one it could go either way. Because do you prefer receiving gifts, or do you prefer spending time with your boyfriend or your partner? It's like, it's both.
Right.
There is no preferring there.
Right. There's a lot of these different types of tests. And like this particular one that we took, we would get to some of these and I would be like, I don't know how to answer this because I feel the same about them both. Even though everyone started off with, is it more meaningful to you that you choose this or this? And I'd get to them and it's like, I can't choose because I feel the same about both of them. So if we were to take another test like this on a different site, or maybe if we found one, a paper and pencil one somewhere, would our scores be different? Yes, because it depends on what the person who wrote the test is looking at and what they consider love languages to be. And I think there's a lot of different ways that you can frame somebody's love language. And yes, I'm using air quotes here. Because everybody feels like they're loved in different ways. For some people, it's someone, taking one thing off of their already overloaded plate. Or for other people, it's, getting something unexpected. Like you walk in the door and your spouse or your partner has, a flower for you. Or it's words that are said to you. It's a smile, it's a hug, it's, hey, thanks for stopping in today kind of thing. So everybody has different ways that, oh, I'm sorry, I can bounce you there. Everybody has different ways that they receive love and ways that they give love. And I think a lot of people have more than one love language.
I think so. Because mine are, well, I want to look at it from the other way. Like, what ways do I show my love language to people? Because these are all skewed to what you prefer to have done to you rather than how do you show it to others. There needs to be a test that shows you, are you better at serving others? Are you better at words of affirmation towards others or quality time or whatever? Because many years ago, someone told me that I had a servant's heart and they wish they were more like me. I love serving people. I love helping people. I love doing things for people, little things, big things, small things, grand gestures, whatever. I love doing things for people, whether it's cleaning up a mess without being asked to, excuse me, while I have a coughing fit.
Organizing my desk.
Going to school and organizing her desk at work, or cleaning out your supply closet again, which we need to do. Just, I don't know. I see something. I don't have to be asked to do it. I just do it. If I know it needs to be done. Like we have our routine down now. And when I go to school with you, I know homework packets need to be done and, this needs to be done and whatever. And I just go in and do it. And if I see something else that needs to be done, I'll do it because I enjoy that. I enjoy telling people, encouraging things and words of affirmation. And I love spending time with you. It's one of my favorite things to do. And it could be TV. It could be doing waffle wordle. It could be doing any of those things where even if we're on the couch and we're on our phones at the same time, it's like we're usually like hip to hip or our legs are touching, or once in a while, one of us will reach out and touch the other one's hand or squeeze a finger or whatever. It's like, hey, I'm here. I see you. I'm with you. I'm doing my own thing. But I acknowledge that you're here with me. I don't ever feel like I'm watching TV and you're on the phone. Or I don't ever feel like you demanding, oh, let's watch. We don't ever watch TV together. So we watch a movie or we watch TV. And I look over and you've been on your phone for the last half hour and you have no idea what's going on the movie, in the movie watching. That absolutely drives me 11 million % crazy. It's like you wanted to spend time together and we're not spending time together.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm not saying that you do that. I'm saying I don't ever want to feel like that because
I misunderstood.
It's okay. I've been made to feel that way. Like, all right, let's watch TV together, and then we're halfway through the movie, and you have no idea what's going on because you've been on your phone the whole time, checking Facebook or emails or whatever. And that's how I feel about it. And I don't think you should treat your partner that way.
Mm-hmm.
A part-time is fine. A together time is fine, but you have to find that balance that works for both of you. And there's always going to be, in any negotiation, there's going to be somebody that's a loser. Even though things are pretty much equal, there's always going to be someone that walks away with a little less than they wanted to. I think the perfect negotiation is both sides feel like they could have gotten more and they didn't. So I think as long as you walk away, in that regard or in that way, I think that was a good negotiation because neither side felt like an overwhelming win because the other person's going to feel aggrieved and they're going to be mad and upset. So if both parties are unhappy, then I think you won.
I get that. Sorry, the cat is pulling my my arm here.
Our studio cat is demanding time and attention.
She's demanding. I actually learned something very interesting. I guess, even animals, have a love language too. And something that I learned about cats, and both of our cats do this. We have 2 black cats, and not because, there's well, actually, there's a particular reason why I prefer black cats. And that's simply because there are superstitions about black cats. They're not always, the most adopted out cats. But both of our cats do this. And I found out what it is when they are when they're bumping their head into you. It's not necessarily because they want you to pet them. It's because they are trying to show that they love the fact that you're their human. And they're trying to let you know that, I appreciate that I'm yours. And I just want to be sure that I'm letting you know that. So she's doing that a lot right now and just purring as she's doing it. So yeah, I had to include the cats in that one.
Well, even our dog does that. If I'm upset or he hears me crying or whatever, he somehow he knows that daddy's upset and he will come and put his paws on me, or he'll like put his paws on me and like try to climb into my lap to make me feel better. People think that animals are stupid and they're not. And to reiterate your point about black cats, people treat them badly, like they're bad luck, or there's something wrong with black cats, and they'll be mean to them. They'll go out of their way to be mean to them. So, if I can show them that much more love and appreciation, then I will absolutely do that.
Mm-hmm. And to go off of what you said about our dog, my first dog, may he rest in peace. He was the same way. If I was crying or if I was getting sick, in the bathroom, he would start to cry and just want to be that much closer. Like, you're hurting and I hurt because you hurt and I don't know how to make it better. And, it was just very appreciative. When I was very appreciative because I'd either be, crying because I was having a bad day, or I'd be sick, or I'd be, just throwing up. I was trying to avoid saying that. So I apologize, listeners. But my dog Charlie, he would always, try to let me know that, you're hurting and I hurt because you hurt. So love languages. If you ever come across a quiz, go ahead and try it, see what ends up, being your love language. And if you disagree with it, that's okay. Don't take these, don't take these different, I guess they all kind of fall under the umbrella of personality quizzes.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ever take them to heart. Like, don't think of it as the be all end all. Like, oh my gosh, that must be me.
It's not the gospel truth.
Right.
It's all algorithms and computer programs. The test is only as good as the person that inputs the questions in the data that analyzes what you said.
Right. Because, there's tons of these. Oh, what's going on with your coffee cup?
I'm about out.
Ooh, you are about out. That is. So once again, thank you for joining us. We record every Friday night. So this could be, your Saturday that you're listening or your Sunday that you're listening. For all of our listeners in California, they're
stay dry.
Yeah, this past storm we had was pretty heinous, and from what I'm hearing, the one that should be arriving on Sunday could be that much worse. So please be careful. If you must go out and you must drive, please be mindful of drivers around you. Watch for those flooded areas. Don't hit the puddles, with your car like you're in the Indy 500, because you could shower the car next to you with unexpected water, causing them not to be able to see. So do be careful. And for those of you not in California, be careful anyway, because we want you to have a good weekend.
As always, thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. These are just our 2 cents worth. Your mileage may vary. We love you all, and God bless. We'll talk to you again soon. And in the last couple of seconds, I just want to say to all the fans of Carl Weathers, may he rest in peace. He was a great actor, and he will be truly missed. Thanks, and we're out.